It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is, what the hell was I just playing there?
Mm-hmm.
That is called Blood Iron is the name of the band.
All right.
And that is called The Ghost of a Memory.
Yeah, stuff.
And someone who's living a ghost of a memory,
a
memory when he was in one of the biggest, baddest bands in the world.
Yeah.
Steven Adler.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
Well, Steven Adler says that both he and Izzy Stradlin are absolutely heartbroken.
Oh, brother.
That they're not part of the Guns N' Roses reunion tour.
Well, if they'd have got themselves ready for it, they probably would have been. Accepted the contract that Axl was going to give them.
Yeah. Well, how long has this been going on now? For over 2 years?
Yeah. Wasn't it 2016 it started?
Yeah. So this isn't any more of a reunion tour.
No.
It's more or less Guns N' Roses is carrying on as Guns N' Roses is no longer a reunion tour.
And now it's just a tour.
Well, anyway, he says that he and Izzy Stradlin are heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Although he wasn't included in the lineup that launched the Not in This Lifetime trek in 2016. Adler joined Guns N' Roses at several shows on the tour, including 3 stops in the U.S. leg and 1 gig in Buenos Aires, playing drums on Out to Get Me and My Michelle.
Okay.
So he basically flew to Buenos Aires to play basically 8 minutes.
Well, at least he was somewhat involved.
Yeah.
He was there. Didn't have to buy a ticket.
Didn't he give an interview, I don't know, maybe it was a little over a year ago, where he said that he showed up at a show and basically Axl asked him, or basically asked the road manager to ask him, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that?
He did.
While promoting his band Adler's Appetite upcoming tour, during which he will play Guns N' Roses' debut album Appetite for Destruction in full.
Yay.
Is there anything new about that? I thought when Sheldon was fronting his band that's what they were doing.
Well, I mean, what else are they going to play?
I know, but
that's all Adler played on.
I understand that, but my point is that how long can you continue going out and playing Appetite for Destruction in full and making that a novelty?
Yeah, it's not a novelty. I mean, he only played on 1 album and 1 song, right?
Yeah, he did Civil War, right?
Yeah, he was on Civil War as well, so maybe that'll be the encore, Civil War. Play the whole album, take a break, come out, play Civil War.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
So you base your entire career on that 1 album. I mean, granted, it's an iconic album, and it's one of those that you can definitely put on and listen from start to finish.
Yeah.
But
well, what else is Steven Adler going to do? Play those fucking songs that he recorded with Chips Enough? I mean, he has no other... Has he done anything else?
He did record... He's recorded 1 or 2 records, didn't he? Or
Adler stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that went nowhere.
Well, I know it went nowhere, but he still has original material if he wanted to play it. Not that people are clamoring to hear it, but he still has other material, right?
But even that, I think, wasn't that just an EP with Jizzy?
That was, but he did some other stuff. I thought he had recorded another record. Let's see if you can look that up. See if he did anything other than that. I thought there was one more release he had done.
I think there might just be that EP. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. Let's see. My God, he has more fucking people that have been in his lineup than Whitesnake. Holy cow. Well, there was Adler's Appetite in 2005. That was an EP with Jizzy.
Right.
And then there was a live album in 2012. That was also an EP. So that's it.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't any more material.
Yeah, there's 5 songs. Is that 5? Let me see. 6 songs. No, it's 4 songs because 2 of them are covers. One of them's a Thin Lizzy song, one's an Aerosmith song. He did 4 songs with with Adler's Appetite. 4 originals.
All right.
Great. Nobody remembers any of this bullshit.
Of course not.
Come on. And that's when he started having all the, he had Sheldon in the lineup for a while. He had, what was that guy after Sheldon?
Yeah, he was, what was his name?
Rick Stitch.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Rick Stitch jumped in there. And then Patrick Stone. I don't even remember Patrick Stone era, do you?
No idea.
That name doesn't even ring a bell. Oof. Jesus, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different lineups. 13 different lineups in 9 years. That's kind of funny.
He said, the thing about Guns N' Roses that made us so great and so magical is because we were a magic band like Led Zeppelin or Aerosmith or Queen.
Okay.
Once we were together, we couldn't do anything wrong. If one person left the band and did, Appetite would not be Appetite. And it's a shame because Use Your Illusion, when we did the demo tape, we kept saying, it was going to be bigger and better than Appetite. But once they kicked me out of the band, part of that magic was gone.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, because Use Your Illusion didn't fucking sell millions of records, right?
No.
And those tours weren't sold completely out.
Yeah, for 3 years.
Yeah.
Didn't they tour on that for almost 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that tour went on forever. I saw that tour several shows.
Yeah.
By the way, I was incorrect. Somebody posted in the chat room. Thank you, whoever it was. Jason Ramali. There was an Adler album, just called Adler.
That's what I thought.
I was looking under Adler's Appetite, but there was something under a project just called Adler.
Right.
An album called Back from the Dead.
That's right, because it has like a skull face on it. I think it's like his skull face from his character that's from Appetite for Destruction.
It looks like it's just a live band thing from the picture on Wikipedia.
Okay.
But whatever. I mean, it was with that Jacob Bunton guy singing.
All right.
Whatever band he was in previously. He was in some band, but I don't remember what. I don't remember any of these fucking guys.
Why would you?
Yeah, because they're all just like nonsense that went away fast.
I mean, aside from knowing our pal Sheldon, and of course Jizzy being successful with his own band Love Hate, why would you know any of these other people?
Well, of course you would know Jacob Bunton from the band Lynam. Remember Lynam?
Yeah, I do. Didn't they play at the CMS thing?
I don't think they did.
No?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think they did.
Lynam?
I think so.
And what, the 13th one?
Yeah, well, one of those Metal Sludge things. I think they played the Metal Sludge Night Out thing.
They could very well have. I don't know. I tended to drink a lot at those things. I don't remember seeing Lynam, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, when we did the demo tape, I kept saying this was going to be better. It's a different band. It's a completely different band.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he hasn't been invited to perform with Guns N' Roses in more than a year, Adler said the door is still open for him to reunite with his former bandmates.
Dude, it's not happening. Move on.
Yeah. They don't want you.
Yeah, move on. They can't deal with your drug use anymore. And your lies that you're going to get clean. They can't deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. And they got a relationship that works with, Frank Farrar.
Yeah. You're a liability. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. Frank Farrar shows up for work. There's never a thought that he won't. So now you're not getting the gig. It's that simple.
If they want me, they know my number.
Yeah. They probably don't. They probably took that right out of their phones.
I'm ready to rock.
Sure you are.
My goal was to finish what I started, and Izzy's too.
I would guess it was pretty much finished.
Izzy is just as heartbroken as I am that the three of them decided to leave us out and bring 3 strangers in. Who are those people?
Well, considering that Steven and Izzy were in the band for about 4 years, and Frank and Fortis and who's the other guy? Who's the third one? Is it that second keyboard chick or whatever?
Yeah, that chick, I think.
That chick keyboardist. They've all been with Axl for 12 years or something.
Long time, yeah.
You know, they've been with Axl longer than Adler was in the band.
Yeah, and Dizzy is still with them.
Yeah, Dizzy Reed is still there. And obviously Slash and Duff are back, so whatever, who cares?
He does.
He's the only one. I don't think I'm yet to have anybody that I know that went to those shows going, man, those shows were good, but if Steven would have been there, it would have been the best. I've not heard that one time.
He had a different way of laying down those drum tracks.
No, with drummers, it's Steven had a real swing that was all his own.
Right.
Shut up. Just shut up. You fucking replace him with a drum machine and never know the difference. This is stupid.
Let's see. It's just not cool. I love those songs. I love those records. I practice them here at my home every day because I love them, and I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of what the 5 of us did.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the question, and this is where I'll just say it. The reason Steven loves it is because every fun thing that he ever did in his life, whether it was massive amounts of heroin or coke or whatever, or banging 3 strippers at once, or every fun fucking debaucherous thing that he ever got to do, was because of those records, the massive success that those records had. But if he would have been in, let's just say Guns N' Roses would have never hit, okay? If Guns N' Roses would have never been successful at all, and they never got past being a local band in Los Angeles, you think he's still playing those fucking songs every day?
No, of course not.
He wouldn't even remember them.
No.
He would. Those would be the early things that he did. Even if he had a band with even marginal local success, he would like those songs more than his first band.
I would agree.
You know, this is such a bullshit. Of course he likes those songs because they made him millions of dollars. The guy was fortunate enough to make $5-10 million and blow it.
Yeah.
But he was fortunate enough at one point to make that much money. So of course he thinks of those songs with a fondness.
Sure.
You know, he thinks about the absolute most perfect pussy he ever stuck his dick into, and it was because of those songs. So of course he loves them. I mean, Jesus, what, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all.
You know, do you think he's getting the same level of pussy now?
Of course not.
I mean, come on. You know, now he's getting stroke victims at the home. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Stroke victims at the home?
Yep, stroke victims at the home.
Hey, hail and kill, fellas. This is Collins from man, I can't. Chris, goddammit.
All right, pull it together, Colin. Pull it together.
All right.
Take a breath.
I am. I want to say I like Tim James. It's a shame he sucks that much cock. But listen, Steven Adler, that strung out motherfucker, he can't even talk right. He had a stroke and it bothered his voice. But listen, my mind's all over the board tonight.
Really?
You guys were talking about Art Bell earlier. I love the Art Bell show back when they talked about Bigfoot and Elvis babies and UFOs and shit like that. I will never forget they had that BP oil spill a few years back. Back when Obama was in office, remember?
Yeah, they couldn't cap it off.
Right.
You know, it spilled out tons and tons and gallons of oil.
Right. Obama's daughter woke him up and said, "Daddy, have you plugged the hole yet?" I remember Art Bell had some guys on a show and they were talking about it. Man, this is going to be dangerous. You know, this is global killer. And I always wanted to get people like that. I remember Ted Danson back when he was hot on what was the damn Cheers.
Cheers.
He was banging Whoopi Goldberg. That tells you something about Ted right there.
And he wore blackface at one time. Go
Ted was on Entertainment Tonight, which is, I think Bob Goldthwait said Entertainment Tonight was like for people that are too stupid to even read People magazine. And it's like, Tonight Show is Abe Vigoda Paints. But Ted said his cause celeb back in the day was that if we didn't stop polluting the oceans, we only got 10 years. Now, I don't know if that meant Ted was worried he was only going to have 10 more years to bang Whoopi Goldberg or 10 years to actually breathe. But the damn bizarre thing to me is nobody from Entertainment Tonight has tracked Ted down, because I'm sure you can catch him telling jokes at a American Legion Post 118 out there in Vegas. Catch him and say, Ted, remember 30 fucking years ago you said we only had 10 fucking years to live if we didn't stop polluting the fucking ocean? Would you like to recoup that? Would you like to say something about that? Would you like to take that back? Nope, he's just going to keep doing whatever Ted does these days.
Yeah, he's a star on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't watch that show. I never heard about it.
All right. Next. Keep going.
All right, well, I got some more stuff I want to talk about.
Well, shake it up. Let's go, Colin. Let's go.
All right, let's go. You called me a radio junkie a couple of weeks ago, and I told my wife, I got a kick out of that, because I work from home, and I do pretty much listen to the radio all fucking day.
All right, Colin, what else you got?
Well, hang on a second, Chris. Stop it. You and my manager are tapping me on my shoulder. Hold on. There was, Al Gore. You guys were talking about global warming.
Yes.
You guys were talking about climate. Man, I was a kid back in the 70s. We used to get the Weekly Reader, and it was telling us there was a new ice age coming. Man, I just thought for sure we were going to die like the woolly mammoths. But Al Gore, whom got busted trying to get a massage therapist to play with his 1.5-inch penis, who can't apparently not go to a global warming speech without taking a whole entourage of people in a damn limo or flying a private. Oh, that reminds me. Remember couch hopping Tom Cruise on the Oprah Winfrey Show? While he was filming Days of Thunder, he was going to have to go make a speech about global warming, and that dumb son of a bitch was in his race car, and they wanted that shot of all the birds flying away from his car while he drove across the beach. Remember the show I'm talking about, the scene? Well,
that was in Days of Thunder, right?
Yeah, Days of Thunder with Robert.
Right. Yeah, right. I remember.
Well, they put all these birds out on the beach, and every time Tom revved up that car, it scared the shit out of the birds, and they all flew away, so they didn't get the shot they wanted. But they figured if we threw some fucking food out there, the birds, acting like typical welfare recipients, would hang out. So here comes Tom revving across the beach in the damn car. The birds didn't leave because they were getting free handouts. And Tom ran over all the fucking birds.
Should have called it Days of Thunder, Tucker.
All right, look, I had a couple other things, but fuck it. My manager said, Colin, it's time to call it a night.
Yeah, you're flaming out, anyway, Colin.
Should have said it before you called.
Chris, that hurt. Anyway. All right, hail and kill, fellas. Fuck you, pal. Balloon knots in hand job.
All right. You can catch Colin at the Chuckle Hut down there at Atlanta, Georgia, or Mississippi, or wherever.
My goodness. It was like somebody fucking took a dictionary, just put it in a blender. It was just saying words that weren't all clicking together for some reason.
He was trying to do a stand-up act, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah. Somehow Ted Danson humor is not working these days.
No.
And it's always bad when you try to make a joke that the guy's not doing anything when he's actually on a successful show. That doesn't work well.
Right.
And he's damn funny on fucking Curb.
I agree.
Anyway.
All right. Well, anyway, getting back to this Guns N' Roses thing and your point that, of course, the biggest thing that Steven ever did, or the most fond memories that has allowed him to have the lifestyle that he's achieved, is that one album.
Yeah. Of course. So that's what he sticks to the most. It's the only thing he can make money at.
I agree.
You think he could make money if him and Davey Vane put the old road crew back together?
Well, here's the thing: is how much money does a Steven Adler's Appetite command?
What, $2,000 maybe?
2,500?
Maybe. Depends on who's with him now, I would think.
Yeah, and who's with him? Do you even know?
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah. And it's not listed on the page either. It only goes up to 2011, so I have no idea who's in the band.
But Steven, as sad as it is, he's there in his home, got his drum set up. He's playing that Appetite CD in his home stereo set and sits there and just drums away to that.
Hey, babe, I'm going to go in the basement and play Mr. Brownstone again.
Yeah, but
I'll see you in a half hour.
But if you think about it,
yeah,
Appetite hit big in 87.
Yep.
It's been 31 years.
31 years.
Dude, you got kicked out of the band in what, 89 or 90?
Yeah, like 90.
Yeah.
28 years ago. Might be time to move on.
Yeah, 28 years.
Yeah. Yeah, probably time to move the fuck on.
I was still living in L.A. when GNR was opening for the Rolling Stones when he got booted like the following week.
Right.
Dude, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Stop hoping that they'll be ringing your phone tomorrow.
Yeah. They're not calling.
No.
They're never going to call you again.
Yeah, it was a great point in time for you. Just ask Henry Lee Summer. That was a great point in time for him.
Right.
But it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's been over for almost 3 decades for you.
At this point, Steven Adler should cut his hair so he's not as recognizable and go get a job. Or go work at a Guitar Center or something. You know, people would love to come in there and I would imagine a lot of people would buy drums if Steven Adler fucking showed them a drum kit. Don't you think?
You would think.
I mean, they'll be like, dude, aren't you the guy from Guns N' Roses and the Bullet Boys?
The Bullet Boys?
Yeah, he was in the Bullet Boys.
Was he?
Yeah, for a minute. For in the 90s. He was in the Bullet Boys.
Was he?
Look. I'm looking right now.
Again, I don't know. I'm just, it doesn't sound familiar to me.
Bullet Boys, former members. Steven Adler.
Really?
Yep, 1998 to 1999.
Really? I see that. I did not even know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason you don't know that is because that was between the great albums Acid Monkey and Burning Cats and Amputees.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, those two jewels were... In between those two jewels was when Steven Adler joined the band.
All right.
Yeah, but he was in the Bullet Boys for a second.
Okay. I didn't know.
So there you go.
Look at you, Mr. Trivia.
Well, when it comes to shit that means nothing and most people couldn't care less about, I'm on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Eddie Trunk ain't got shit on me.
Exactly.
Think I could have stumped the trunk with that one?
You would have stumped me, and I know a lot of shit. Believe me.
I could go to Eddie. I'd be like, Eddie, name a drummer who made more money than the band that he was in, the Bullet Boys. Go. And he wouldn't have got it right.
You're right.
He would have guessed Troy Patrick Farrell.
Anyway, we accomplished our dream exactly the way we wanted to. It didn't end that way, the way we wanted to, or I wanted it to. Yeah, you got fired.
Yeah.
But we did it our way, like Frank Sinatra. I did it my way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got booted out.
Yeah.
Right after the Rolling Stones tour.
Right.
I remember that because they were playing, I think 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
in L.A., and GNR was opening for them, and I think Axl came out on stage and he said something about the members of Guns N' Roses had better be careful or watch out because they've been playing around with Mr. Brownstone.
Right.
And like the following week got booted. I mean, it was crazy, but anyway, it was rumored that Izzy turned down a 5-figure fee, 5 figures.
Okay. 10 grand.
To play with Guns N' Roses at the April 2016 reunion shows. So it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
The guitarist later tweeted about the dispute, writing that the band didn't want to split the loot equally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that unfortunately has been the contention between the 4 members of Dokken.
Yeah.
We want to do it equally.
Yeah, well, you don't get to because the other guy fucking carried on the legacy for...
Well, it's not only that, but even in the Use Your Illusion days...
Yeah.
Axl bought the GNR name from all the other members.
Yeah.
So Axl owns GNR outright. Don owns Dokken outright.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring somebody in, whether it be Slash or Duff or whatever the case may be, to give everybody a quarter of the money.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. There's no reason to do that.
And Izzy, he left prior or right at the release of Use Your Illusion, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was right in there because they brought it. What's his name?
Gilby Clarke.
Gilby Clarke was on all the Use Your Illusion touring stuff. So. Yeah. You know, and I know Izzy wrote a lot of the tunes or whatever, but you know what? Who gives a shit at this point?
Yeah, it's been 30 years.
Yeah, and they're not going to write anything new, so who gives a shit? Just put... I honestly didn't have that much of a problem with Axl. The Axl Rose Clown Band. I mean, it was a clown band, but they were damn good live. I saw it. I saw it twice. I saw it once or 3 times. I saw it twice with Bumble and once with Bucket. And I'll tell you what, the Buckethead show was fucking amazing. Me and Randy went to see the Buckethead show with the rap guy from the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that show kicked ass. And the other 2 shows that I saw were pretty good too. I mean, they were solid. They played the songs well. And really, even Slash, I didn't miss Slash that much, to be really honest. Because he had quality players. DJ Ashba. And fucking, who's the other guy? Richard Fortus?
Richard Fortus.
Yeah, those guys could play. Gives a shit. You know, I mean, come on, it's not 1991 anymore, so who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
Just move on with it already. You're out, Steven. That's it.
Yep.
You want to go be sad and pathetic and drive around in a van and play these tunes for fucking bar tabs? Go ahead. No one's stopping you. No one's going to go see you, but no one's stopping you.
I did go out to one of the shows where Sheldon was, fronting the band and,
sure,
hung out with Sheldon and Steven and Chips Enough in the bus.
Sure.
And, it was nice meeting Steven. I've got nothing against Steven, but man, it's just like, dude.
Yeah.
They're not going to ring your phone, all right? It's not happening. They're making millions of dollars without you. They don't need the liability.
No. Well, if Steven wants to fucking get back into the limelight somewhat, maybe he should make his own interviews. Because I've been offered and then told 15 times he's being tough to get a hold of several times in the last 2 months for Steven Adler. Because he's tied to the Run for Ronnie or whatever it is, the Ronnie James Dio motorcycle thing.
Okay.
And I've been trying for like well over a month and a half to get this collaborated interview done with Steven and what's her name? Wendy Dio and me just doing an interview, and Steven fucking keeps flaking. He flakes and they can't get it scheduled. So, maybe that's part of the reason that he's not fucking still in the band, because he's not reliable. If he can't be reliable to fucking promote a charity that he's involved with, what do you think he's going to do on the road when he's got fucking people throwing blow at him? He's going to get high and disappear.
Right.
Then what? Then you're flying Frank Ferrara across the country in the middle of a fucking tour. They don't want that hassle. They know Frank will show up and play the goddamn gigs, so they keep him. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Dude, we know enough bands that even though it would be profitable for them, the hassle of the person is not worth the profit. Look, we don't know. What I'm going to state next is my personal opinion, not something that I'm admitting to having a conversation about. I'll put it that way. Dokken would make more money as a unit with George Lynch, but the amount that they would make more is not worth the hassle that it would cause.
True.
So that's why it doesn't happen. It's just not worth the hassle. Steven Adler, Steven may be great. Steven may be cured. He may not do drugs anymore, whatever. But there was something in rehearsal that told these guys, can't trust this fucking guy. And it wasn't this sudden bad back syndrome nonsense that they put out there. That was just the excuse they put out there to save Steven's reputation.
That was the story.
Yeah, it was not, because notice he's not referencing that anymore. Well, I got pushed aside because of my bad back and they never brought me back. He's not saying that. He's just saying they left me out in the cold. I was offered 5 figures. I wasn't offered enough money and therefore I didn't do it. And now I feel bad because they should have offered me more. That's what he's saying now. In 2016, he was saying, they were all saying, well, Steven had to be replaced because of his back. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So that all by itself is a line of horse shit, which really means in rehearsal, something happened where the 3 major people, the 3 major players, Axl, Slash, and Duff, had to have a conversation and were like, yeah, not sure we can do this. There's too much money on the line to be worrying about this fucking joker showing up and playing well and not being high or whatever the fuck. And they went the other way. So he needs to stop it. He needs to just stop with this. He's trying to play the public game instead of just admitting it. He can't fucking do it anymore. He can't be relied on to do it. When's the last time Steven Adler toured? When's the last time Steven Adler toured for a long period of time? 2010? Is that right?
Well, obviously when I saw him and you saw him with Sheldon.
Yeah, which was 2009, 2010.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a decade. If you were putting together a professional band that's going to drop $400 million into somebody's pockets in a year, are you going to entrust responsibility for those shows happening to a guy that has not toured, has not proven that he can be on the road for a long period of time in over a decade, honestly has never proven in his life that he could be relied on to play a long tour, and who has given you a vibe even in rehearsal that he can't do it? Why the fuck would you pay that guy? You wouldn't do it. I think they made Jackal in the chat room said, Axl's just a dick. Maybe Axl is a dick, but you know what? Sometimes being a smart businessman makes you have to be a dick.
Exactly.
And, in the end, they made $400 million off the Not in This Lifetime tour. So being a dick paid. And these guys, say what you want. It's all about the music, man. No, it's not. They got back together to make a fucking ass load of money. They made that money for a couple of reasons. One, Axl wants to get the fuck on with his life and do something different. That's why you're seeing all the AC/DC rumors and this and that. Duff wanted to get a final payday before his day is over, since Velvet Revolver went to shit and Slash went somewhere else. And Slash needed to recoup after his fucking ex took all his money. That's why this tour happened. It was about money. It was the quickest, easiest way to fix a fucking problem that they all had as they crawl toward the end of the road. And they took the money. It's business. They believe. If you're one of these guys that is fucking listening to Steven Adler because it should be about the fans and it should be about the music, man, then you don't get at all what the fuck was going on there. These guys put their bullshit aside to make fucking bank. If Guns N' Roses with Slash and Duff was pulling down $10,000 a night instead of $1.2 million, they wouldn't have done it. That's just a fact. It's only about money. And that's why they did it. And Steven did not seem like he could help them make that money.
Nope.
So they fucking said, fuck you, we'll bring in the guy that will help us make that money. And has proven for a decade that Axl has watched day in and day out that he can do it. And that's why Frank got that gig. Period. I don't think it's that hard to understand. I think Steven's just trying to fucking play the fans, thinking somehow Axl's going to somehow go to social media and say, oh, well, the fans want Steven. I better get him in here. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's missing out on a big payday.
Yeah, well, and that's probably he probably saw that $400 million tag and was like, Jesus, I could have made 50 of that. You know, that's probably what he wanted, was to make 40 to 50 million. And didn't make, what did he make? 10 grand probably.
Probably.
4 gigs.
Well, here's the telling sign to kind of give your statement validity.
Okay.
Guns N' Roses will return in June for a 7-week European jaunt, but the band's plans until then and beyond that remain unknown for now. The 3 core members, that is Axl Rose, Slash, and Duff McKagan, have not given a single interview together.
No, because why would they? They're not a band. They're fucking Return to the East Stocking. That's what they are. They're fucking doing it for the money. They don't fucking like each other. They showed up, play their gigs, probably don't talk to each other until it's to fucking showtime.
Right.
Do you think they do?
It's like Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Motley Crue was able to make that work for a decade.
Yeah, Motley Crue's the blueprint that Guns N' Roses is following. Those guys were able, they were smart enough to say, we can make a lot of money if we just don't talk to each other except on the fucking stage. And now it's funny because now you see them all talking about each other and they all fucking hate each other.
Yep.
But for 10 years, they were able to do those tours and get out there and make bank. And Motley Crue put out a lot of shitty music in the last 15 years of their career, and they still were selling out every room they played because they put all their bullshit aside for 2 hours a day. And then they just avoided each other like the plague the rest of the time. And good on them for making their money. You know, I mean, dude, bands, this always bothers me with bands. They have their hit period, but once their hit period goes away, everybody thinks that they're just buddies. And it's all work. I mean, when you go to your job, you have what you call work friends. You know, any job you've ever worked, you've had work friends, right? Where at work you'll cut up with them, or you'll talk about the news or chicks or whatever the fuck. You know, you'll have conversation with, and you'll get along, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, but then when it comes to your real life, never include any of those fucking people.
Of course not.
Because they're not real friends. Well, what makes you think that just because you're in a band and you wrote some songs that people know, that job is any different than any other job? Those guys are your work friends. And at work, you're friends. At work, you get up on stage and you go, oh, that fucking rocked. Right, everybody? Yeah. Play 3 more songs, and then you get off stage, you're like, fuck. All right, work friend, I'll see you later. I'm going to go with my real friends now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just a job. You know, when you get to that level, it's just a job anyway. You know, when you're a local band, you're just buddies that are looking for guys to hang out with to, you know, will draw enough chicks that you'll get some fucking blowback.
Chicks and beer, man.
That's it. Chicks and it's pussy and beer. That's what it's about. Once you get to that level, though, where it's all business and it's all about money, and especially once you're not putting out hits anymore. Now there's no, it's not like you need to be hanging out together because you're going to get that creative spark to write the next Patience or November Rain or whatever. Those guys couldn't give two fucks about each other. I would bet Axl Rose has never even heard a Slash's Snake Pit record. That I would bet anything on that he's never even heard it. Didn't buy any of the Loaded records from Duff McKagan.
Loaded.
I mean, right?
Yep, I would agree.
It's just a job. And Adler, for a guy that has made it at one time, he sounds like a dumb fan. To me, he just sounds like a dumb fan. Well, they should want me because without me, the magic isn't there anyway, dude. You know who loves this tour? People that didn't see the fucking real band in 1988 to 92. That's who loves this tour. Everybody else is like, cool, And that music is timeless enough and has transcended to where younger generation wants to hear this stuff. So, I don't know. I just think Steven sounded like a dumb fan.
He does. Especially when he's, gearing up to go out on the road, man, and rehash the same album he did for years with other singers.
Yeah, he's only going to play Appetite for Destruction. Wow, thanks.
All right, great.
You're kidding. You mean I'm not going to hear, your drum-filled reference of Patience? Did he play on Patience? Maybe. Probably, right?
Yeah, he was on that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're not getting that song on tour. God damn it. That sucks. I'm not going now.
All right, well, moving along.
All right.
A guy that you and I both like as a person.
Sure. Well, wait, real quick before you get there, I do want to stress again, we don't have a problem with Steve.
No, not at all.
Just have a problem with him coming off like a dope.
Yeah, just hanging on to what?
Yeah.
A 30-year-old memory.
And if I do get this interview with Steven, I promise I will absolutely ask him that. I will absolutely ask him if at this point he's not just hanging on to something that's not there anymore. I promise you I will ask that question. Anyway, go ahead.